Hey guys, this is Chris Napoltz.
And this is David. We are
Drop Disgusta.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, we are powered by Amplified Events. To learn more about the great work they do, visit ampyourevent.com.
We would also like to thank and welcome our digital marketer, Aaron Talent.
If you're a fan of the show, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Drop Disgusta Podcast.
And whatever you're doing this week, make sure you hashtag drop the dis.
Here's the show.
Hey guys, we're here with Drop Disgusta Podcast. Chris here.
I'm David. We are doing this show together.
And today, we're going to go ahead and announce we are presented by Nancy Powell Holwine with Concierge Realtor.
It's a big day for
yes.
us. We got sponsored. Thank you.
Yep.
We're all about it.
Every episode this month, we're going to present a sponsor that we're going to have for 2020. We're really excited about next year. 2020 vision, as Nancy
2020
Holwine
vision.
says.
Yep.
If you are trying to buy or sell a home, reach Nancy Powell Holwine at nancy@opentoclose.com. By the way, for anybody that has forgotten, we are your Augusta millennials who give a crap.
We do and we are. Both of those things.
But before we introduce our guests, we're going to quickly go over what we did for Thanksgiving.
Little recap.
I'm just going to go ahead and start. I'm
Go
going
to
to
your
roll.
thing,
I'm
go
going
to
to
your
roll. So, Thanksgiving, my wife and I took our new Subaru to Jack Daniel's Distillery, checked it out. It was awesome. If you haven't gone, I would go. It's incredible how much whiskey is produced there a day. It's sickening. And then after that,
In a good way.
In a good way. After that, we quickly went up to Mammoth Cave National Park. We have successfully hit 10 national parks this year,
Wow.
which is awesome. And Mammoth Cave is incredible. If you ever have a chance, hit it. And I enjoyed family in Knoxville, Tennessee. So,
Wow.
Not from Knoxville, from Augusta, but my family ended up in Knoxville. So I'm going to roll it over to you, David.
Roll it to me. Okay, so what I will talk about is also brief. I went to Sarasota to visit my girlfriend's family.
In Florida?
In Florida.
Okay.
It is actually always summer in Sarasota. I did not know that. I brought a bunch of warm clothes, and everyone was looking at me weird the whole week. Shorts and Hawaiian shirts.
Wow.
Is what people were wearing. It was 80 degrees.
Holy moly.
It was 80
wow.
degrees. So if anybody is ever sitting in Augusta like, wow, the seasons are ridiculous here, I would challenge you to go to Florida, come back, and then still think that.
Wow.
Because you will not still think that. It is not possible.
Where is Sarasota? Is it below or above
It's
Orlando?
below Tampa.
Okay.
It's below
So
Tampa. It's
in
about
line
8 hours.
with... Okay, wow.
About 8 hours.
Wow.
It's a hefty drive.
Wow. Well, I'm sure you enjoyed that traffic.
You know what? I literally was in traffic for about an hour on the way back, and it was because on the way before I left, I said, there's not going to be any traffic. It's a great drive.
Right.
And guess what? Guess what happens? But anyways,
Bumper to bumper.
it was terrible. I was actually on Waze. I was scrolling on Waze, and I was looking at the comments. People were leaving comments, and it was like, hey guys, only 30 more miles. And I was just sitting there like, this is the worst thing I've
Oh,
done.
man.
But anyways, we're back, and that's what matters.
That's great. And we're back here to also tell you about some events that I want you to put in your calendar. Two specifically. Next Saturday is the Augusta Parade. It's at 6 p.m.
That's the 14th. No,
It's next Saturday.
the 7th.
Sorry, not this coming Saturday, the next Saturday.
December
So
14th.
Yeah, it's the 14th.
My confusion is big.
And you will see us on a float there. So we are really excited about
It
that.
will not be floating, but it will be afloat.
Yes, and hopefully it's not cold. Also, Savannah River Brewery.
Savannah
They're having
River
an
Brewery.
event, New Year's Eve.
Savannah River Brewery is, first of all, a fantastic brewery. We're drinking their beer right now. We will be drinking their beer because it is the Dynamite Wire and we are tired. It's a Monday.
Yes.
But they are having on New Year's Eve a New Year's Eve party. Not party, social event with Amplified Events.
Awesome.
It's going to be $20 at the door. The event page will be live by the time this podcast is posted. There's going to be a special small batch beer brewed just for that night. you're going to get a memento to take home, and it's going to be a fantastic time for everybody. 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. In fact, I think our guests should go, but we'll have to convince them of that.
Yes. I mean, what event can you go for New Year's Eve for $20?
Exactly, and we're going to be giving away some tickets coming up,
Yep.
so y'all watch out for that too. We're going to give away some tickets, but if we don't give you the tickets for free, come support small business, come support local business. It was just Small Business Saturday,
Yes, it was.
and party. at
So
Savannah River Brewery.
if you all followed us and what we just rolled through,
That was a lot.
crazy,
I was like,
as if we were drinking Wired Dynamite Brown Ale.
in
But
fact,
we're going to go ahead and roll it to our guests. Today we are here with 2 guests actually. Originally just 1, but we were treated with an additional guest, and I'm excited to introduce them, or they will introduce themselves to you.
yeah.
Our first guest is...
I'm Bennish Brown. I'm president and CEO of the Augusta Convention and Visitors Bureau. And I tell you, you guys inspire me, Chris and David. I remember when this podcast was just an idea. It was a thought, and we had a discussion, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And you said you were
6
going
months,
to do it.
yeah.
So awesome. And now you have sponsors. Congratulations.
And I'd like to thank you for bringing that smooth, silky voice. To
Yes,
this podcast.
it is smooth and silky.
We may need to have you on more.
Is that suit silk? That's the question.
Someone told them we were taking pictures. They're both dressed to the toes.
Someone said video, but
Yeah.
anyways, thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
And
It's
we
an
are
honor.
also here with...
I'm Brian Graham, CEO of the Augusta Sports Council. I want to thank you guys for being here tonight and thank Bennish for sharing the spotlight with the Sports Council.
Love it. And y'all just had the Iron Man here.
We did.
That's
It was
awesome.
it's a great event for Augusta. It's one of our marquee events. We had 3,700 competitors this year.
Wow.
Get this, from
Jeez.
49 states, 62 countries.
That's
Now the
awesome.
Masters Golf
I
Tournament.
can't name 62.
I can't either. The Masters Golf Tournament has 23, just to give you a comparison.
Countries.
In 23 countries
Wow.
represented,
Wow.
to give you an idea of the international draw of that event.
That's incredible.
So yeah, it's a great event for Augusta.
Is it fair to say that is the best 5K in the world?
That sounds pretty
You
good
don't
to me.
have to say
It sounded good coming out of your mouth.
I'm not even aggressively. He's looking at me
I'm
like,
not going to
"Oh,
argue
should I
with
lie?"
So before we get into what y'all are doing here in Augusta, we kind of want to let our listeners know who you are.
They get to meet
know
you.
Get to meet you. So, Bennish, I know you're not from here. You and I have gotten a great old fashioned at Metro Coffee House
Yeah.
before, and we've talked about what you've done and where have you been and all that. And I enjoyed it. I want our listeners to hear that. How did you get to Augusta, Georgia, and to get into the spot you are now?
Okay, fair question. And I'll start with who I am. When I was thinking about that question. I'm a dad.
Okay.
I'm a husband,
Right?
brother and son. So I'm all those things, but I am a guy who loves life. I love travel. I love the Southeast. I'm originally from South Carolina.
Okay.
Hampton, South Carolina, the low country is
Yeah.
what a lot of people who are familiar with that would call it. And it's funny, a lot of people are familiar with Hampton not because they're going to Hampton, but because they're going through Hampton to go to Hilton
Yeah.
Head or
Yeah.
to Beaufort.
Oh, I've been to
They have,
Hampton.
yeah, that's
Hold on. Do y'all have speed limits like 25 miles an hour?
right. Yeah, 35.
Oh,
So
okay.
you
I don't
guys
think
one
it's
of
a
those-
traffic, but it's a
Yeah.
small town,
I
yeah.
hear you.
I don't remember 4 traffic lights maybe,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
people know Hampton because it's their favorite kind of stop-off spot to get some gas and to
Right.
do a pit stop.
Okay.
So that's, but
Yeah.
my hometown is famous for the Watermelon Festival.
There you go.
Okay.
Fun
I guess
fact.
we must go.
Yeah, you must go.
We must go. Or bring it here.
Well, you must go there. No, we can't bring it there. But I grew up in South Carolina. I'm a Gamecock. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right now I
We
got
don't have to get into it.
No,
I
we
understand.
don't. We
I
don't.
understand.
I still remain proud to be a Gamecock. Not
Yeah.
exactly proud of how the season
Maybe
ended.
next
but
year.
That's all I can say right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, maybe next
Y'all
year.
beat Georgia.
We did, but I don't want to rub that in either because I don't have much. Other than that, I can't say anything.
That's it.
But
You
we beat Georgia.
at Georgia.
It's a great environment.
Yes, yes.
There you go. My girlfriend just graduated from USC.
Okay.
So she shares your pain.
Yes, exactly. But we've never been known as a football powerhouse. We've had some periods of brightness and sunshiny, but yeah. So that's all right. But we'll have a season, a better season in years to come. But anyway, grew up, moving around the state. First job was in radio. Stayed in radio for about 5 or 6 years.
That's where the silky voice came.
Well, thank you for that. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I just.
For another position, they heard his voice and they were like, "Oh no,
We gotta have that voice.
like, oh no, whatever you thought you were doing, you're not doing that now."
Well, thank you for the Savannah River Brewing Company beer with coffee, because I feel like otherwise I'd be putting all of us to sleep. But ended up so I was in radio and then transitioned into newspaper. I was a newspaper reporter for a short while, just to get my byline going. I wanted to be viewed as a credible writer, because I knew my ultimate goal eventually was to get into PR, because I felt like in public relations I could do a lot of different things, even get involved in some TV. So that was my dream, and I was able to get into some corporate public relations. Met a guy in radio, at the newspaper, became a friend. Our paths crossed again later. We both worked for the same communications department in corporate communications. He finally started working at Carowinds. That's not a commercial for them, but so a major theme park.
Okay.
And he was associated with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. I didn't know what a CVB was. He finally reached out to me and said, "Man, I think you'd be great at this job. We're looking to kind of just totally dismantle this organization, rebuild it as both a destination marketing organization and an organization that promotes sports tourism."
Okay.
So on that note, what is a CVB?
Yeah, we are the market. We are the cheerleaders for a destination, but the ultimate goal is to get visitors to come. That's the ultimate. There are a lot of other things. We want to make sure residents have pride in where they live. Residents are equipped to be ambassadors, because a lot of us host family and friends all the time. And that's a chance where if somebody asks you, Chris or David, while they're visiting with you, what should I do here?
Exactly.
We certainly don't want you
I need to tell them.
Yeah, you need to tell them what's here. So we provide tools to help local residents, but we also are that voice externally. And that's really sometimes why we're not as known locally, because a lot of our messages are going outside of our area to get people to come here, bring their events here, bring their conventions, their meetings, bring their families, bring their visitors. And now in Augusta, it's bring your film.
There you go, exactly.
100%.
And that film is right across the street from Savannah River Brewery.
Ah, okay.
See what I did there?
Oh, man.
Yeah, great.
I think they're going to have to give us more beer for this.
That's great. So you got.
So I got into this world in 2000.
Okay.
In Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Wow. Okay, I know Rock Hill.
Yep.
I do.
Rock Hill.
So I know Rock Hill because of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey.
All right. So, Rock Hill is a great town. It's right at the edge of. It joins Charlotte, in York County there. But I stayed in Rock Hill for 12 years, loved it. It's a great amateur sports tourism destination. Rock Hill just really focused on how can they attract sports. Major softball tournaments, you name it, they were great. Hold BMX now. I'm not doing a commercial for Rock Hill, but I'm just saying it was a great place.
Yeah, you could be sponsored by a lot of things.
I'll land this plane now. So I stayed in Rock Hill for 12 years, and a couple of things began to happen. I felt like, 12 years, gosh, I felt like I'd crossed a lot of the T's, dotted the I's there in Rock Hill, and I felt like it was time for maybe somebody else to come in and do something more creative that I just didn't see.
Yeah.
But my wife and I were also empty nesters then, and we were looking for a new adventure.
Yeah.
One day I got an email about an opening in Tacoma, Washington, and I filled out the application just to get back on.
The other opposite of the
Totally opposite.
Wow.
Totally opposite.
That's
I
crazy.
didn't pay attention to that when I applied because I just didn't think I'd get it. I just needed to interview some.
Yeah.
But I was hired for that job, and it was one of the best things I could have done. And now, so I stayed there for 6 years, needed to move back to the East Coast, be closer to my mother. And I found out there were some things happening in Augusta, Georgia, because recruiters knew I was interested in coming back to the East Coast, and I would get calls, we've got something in Syracuse, thank you, no thank you. Oh, we've got something in College Station somewhere, thank you, no thank you. Then I got a call about Augusta, and that's why I'm in Augusta.
All right.
Because I was so excited about what's happening here, and you guys represent the Augusta that really attracted me here.
Well,
Because
thank you.
you're doers.
That is awesome that you
Yeah.
think that.
So we have a transition, right?
Yes,
We do have a transition that we need to make.
absolutely.
We, you know, there are two of you.
Yes,
There was one, but you brought on this awesome guest.
because
Brian.
we worked so well
you
together.
go.
Yeah.
So Brian, tell us how you are here now.
What's
Well,
your, like, where's your origin story?
well, I'm born and raised here in Augusta. I'm an Augusta native,
Fantastic.
and nobody loves the city more than me.
I love
You
it.
might like it as much as me, but you don't like it more than
Okay.
You
me.
guys should see
I'm
the
down with
staring
that.
contest there.
But seriously, I do love Augusta. I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
One of 8 kids. I'm married now. Have a son and a daughter. Go to Aquinas High School,
Okay.
where I also met my wife, and I'm very active with Aquinas Athletics. So I got into engineering right out of school and spent 22 years in civil and environmental engineering here in Augusta as a designer. During that time, I got introduced to the sport of disc golf, and it was just really an unknown underground sport
Yeah.
at the time. There was one course in Augusta that some friends of mine had installed, and really only about
Which course was that?
Pendleton King Park.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was installed in
Such a good course.
1989 by some friends of mine who were Frisbee players. And they introduced me to disc golf, and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I was young, single at the time, had plenty of time to do whatever I wanted to do. Got into disc golf, started running tournaments, and then I kind of got bored of Pendleton King Park, so I started looking around and for other opportunities to put courses in. And if you follow the evolution of disc golf in Augusta and the courses, you'll see that it spirals out from where I lived at the time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I would move to the next park that was big enough for disc golf and try to get
Is
a
that
course
like
in.
Olmsted?
That was actually Riverview Park at the time.
Riverview, okay. Very
Which,
cool.
which through those 2 courses really introduced me to the Sports Council, because through disc golf, I hosted the 1996 Amateur Disc Golf World Championships in Augusta.
Oh, so was disc golf your job?
No, it was not. I was in engineering. Disc golf was just a hobby,
You're
just
okay,
something
I'm
fun
gonna
I
host
did.
This tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Okay.
Well, so I got involved in through hosting of that tournament. Tammy Stout, who was the executive director of the Sports Council at the time, contacted me. I didn't really know what a Sports Council was or what it did, and said, "Hey, let us help you." And through that, I got involved with the Sports Council. Eventually, became a board member, and we kind of moved on from there. But getting back to disc golf, I put courses in, ran tournaments all over town for years, and then in actually serving on the Sports Council Board of Directors, I became friends with Charlie Beal in Columbia County, as well as Bob Brooks over in North Augusta, and they were parks directors and was able to get courses in.
That's great.
But through the relationship with Charlie Bill, was able to Charlie asked me to come out to Wildwood Park and look at it and build a disc golf course there. Well, I went out there and there was 1,000 acres on the lake, and I said, well, Charlie, we can build more than one disc golf course here. Why don't we build a couple of them, and then we can host big tournaments? And he was able to, working through the government and through some funding, we were able to get some money appropriated and build the International Disc Golf Center.
Wow, yeah.
So it's fair to say disc golf is the coolest sport in Augusta.
I would agree with you 100%.
100%.
But-
we have a PGA disc golf shop in Wildwood.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Well, Wildwood Park in Columbia County is the international headquarters for disc golf around the
That is
world.
incredible.
And disc golf is one of the fastest growing sports in the world right now.
And what better place than Augusta, where
Agreed.
we have the Augusta National.
Exactly.
So it's just perfect.
So we were able to build the International Disc Golf Center, and through my connections with the Professional Disc Golf Association, who were in Toronto, Canada at the time,
Okay.
we were able to offer them a place to set up shop.
Wow.
Moved them down to Augusta. They operated here for 2 or 3 years, and then the director, who was Canadian, was moving back to Canada, and the job came open, and I was approached, and they said, "Brian, are you interested in the job?" And I said, "Absolutely not." And they go, "Really? Why? All you do is disc golf anyway." And I said, "Well, I love disc golf, and I would hate for my job to lessen that love for this sport." But after thinking about it, they were right. I spent all my time doing disc golf away from work. So I threw my name in the ring, was lucky enough to be hired, and served as executive director of the Professional Disc Golf Association for 10 years.
Wow. So we've got a radio show host turned city builder into a disc golfer turned
Hobby disc golf.
hobby disc golfer, full-time engineer, right?
Well,
Civil
engineer, designer.
Civil engineer and designer turned athletic guy. What would you? How would you describe?
I
that?
wouldn't describe myself as athletic, but I do love, I do love sports and
athletics builder.
But yeah, the Sports Council is much like a CVB. We do the same thing, except we focus on sports.
So the CVB, that's a larger organization, right? And then there's branches in different cities to promote those cities.
Yes, that's correct.
Is the Sports Council the same way?
Well, the Sports Council, in our case, is independent of the CVB. And in most cities, it's a division of the CVB.
Okay.
We're independent of each other, although we rely on each other and are great partners.
Okay.
I've been working for the Sports Council since January. Bennish is here been about a year and a half.
About a year and a half, July of last year.
So we're both fairly new to what we're doing and working together, and I can't think of a better partner to work with than Bennish and his crew at the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Just a great group of people, and there's so much positivity that just you feel it when you walk into this building. It's an awesome place to work.
And for people that are at home right now, we are in Augusta and Co.
We didn't even say that.
Yeah, on the 3rd level, which no one else has been if you just go to the shop. It's a
VIP seating.
From bottom to top, beautiful building. What y'all have done with this place is incredible. We did have Deep Copenhagen on here in the same spot. So we have been up here, but always walking up here, it's just, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Just incredible building.
It's unreal that it's in Augusta.
And if y'all haven't had a chance, y'all should check out Augusta & Co. because there's tons of apparel, merchandise, all Augusta & Co.
Where do they import it from?
What about Augusta Connection?
Okay.
Those of you that are sitting at home listening or whatever you do when you listen to a podcast, Augusta Connection was founded in 2018 with one guiding vision: connecting Augusta and shine a positive light on the exciting things happening in the Augusta area.
We highly relate to them.
Yes, everything we talk about, everything they post about, it's all in the same thing, and we love what they're doing. If you need cocktail hour, happy hour, if you need the best drinks, the best food, if you need to know the best place to do something activity, if you need to know where all the disc golf courses are, you can check them out on their website at augustaconnection.com. They are doing awesome things.
They have a newsletter.
They do have a newsletter. You can sign up for it. I think they send it out monthly.
Is it?
It's either monthly or no, it's weekly.
It's weekly.
It is weekly.
It's weekly, and you know why? Because you can catch the latest episode of this podcast every week in their newsletter.
That is 100% true. Also, Zach McKay with All Equal Parts, the local mixologist.
The local mixologist.
He will be providing a cocktail for us once a month.
Fantastic
He also
guy.
has a weekly sip in their on their website, and it's something you definitely need to check out.
So if you like food, if you like going places, if you like cool cocktails, if you like podcasts,
if you like
which
disc
you clearly
golf,
do, if you like disc golf, I'm sure there's disc golf content.
I'm sure there's someone in this room that does.
Check them out. Check them out at AugustaConnection.com. We are going to, speaking of people in Augusta that are doing things that are cool, quick shout out to our friend Travis Murphy, Patriot Pro Wash. Travis Murphy, Patriot Pro Wash. First of all, super cool guy. Comes to Augusta neat, loves great whiskey. Second of all, in the military, on Fort Gordon. He's got a lot of responsibility, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Patriot Pro Wash, which is his business that he somehow finds time to run, where he goes to people's houses, he cleans up your house, he cleans up your yard, whatever mess you have, he will professionally wash it away. His quotes are absolutely free. You only have to search him on Facebook or Google to find him. And the other thing you can do is call 706-836-7382. How's my infomercial voice?
That was dumb.
One more time, that's 706-836-7382. Call now.
Yes. So we are back from that info.
Luckily.
I'll redo that. I'm just kidding. So we want to know how the Augusta Sports Council and the CVB
Mesh.
mesh.
Go together. Work together.
Make things happen.
Do you guys ride in the same car and like one of you is shotgun, the other one's driving, you take turns?
We haven't. We could.
We haven't, but that sounds like a good
You
idea.
put handcuffs on at the beginning of the day or you can't leave each other's side.
Right.
Now, obviously, we share a building together.
Yes.
This building is owned by the Convention and Visitors Bureau. We do lease space in the building.
Okay.
So we work very closely. Our two staffs work closely together, and Bennish and I work closely together as well. He was kind enough to invite me to take part in this podcast tonight. Yeah. And,
we're happy to have you.
Honestly, Bennish, you need to book more guests for us.
Yeah. I'll send you our open dates.
All right.
But the partnership is great. We work very closely together. As I said, we do the CVB and the Sports Council. Our missions are very similar.
Yeah.
It's just ours is for sport, and theirs are for all the other markets.
Well, since he has all the other markets, what are y'all working on bringing to Augusta? I know y'all do the half Ironman.
What are some things that people see you doing and don't know it's you?
Well, the big event we're working on next is the Augusta University Half Marathon. It takes place Saturday, February 22nd.
You guys love making people run.
We do.
Yeah.
But that's an event that's owned by the Sports Council. It's sponsored by Augusta University. We use it as a fundraiser for the organization.
Okay, that's awesome.
But it's a great event. We'll have probably 12 to 1,500 people running in the race. It's a half marathon, 10K, 5K. The half marathon route takes you from downtown Augusta through the medical campus of Augusta University all the way up to the top of the hill through Somerville campus.
So that's what all that construction's for, is to make it look nice for the race.
We hope so. We hope the construction's gone by the race. But no, it'll be fine. And but anyways, it's a great race. It's a great partnership with Augusta University, and we greatly appreciate their support over the years.
That's awesome. That's great.
And then I'd say one of the other marquee events we're working on in May of this upcoming year, we'll be hosting the USA Cycling Collegiate Road National Championships. It's all the top collegiate riders around the nation come here with their teams. They do road racing out at Fort Gordon for 2 days. And then on Sunday, we close the streets of downtown Augusta and they do the Criterium, which if you've never seen a Criterium, it's one of the coolest events in all of cycling. It's like NASCAR on bikes.
I need you to somehow find a way to describe that more because I'm eating this up right now.
Yeah, it's a short closed course through the streets of downtown Augusta, going around curves and corners, and there'll be 30 or 40 people in a pack right on each
Tour
other.
de France, like going around the mountain, like downtown Augusta.
But it's a closed circuit course, and they're flying, and it's just an exciting event, and it's cool because with road racing, when it goes by you, it's gone, and you don't see them again. With the Criterium, it's a loop, and they'll do 20 or 30 laps.
Wow.
And so they're constantly coming by.
What's the distance of the laps? I just want to quantify this somehow. This is crazy.
Well, I'm sorry I don't know the answer to that, but
okay.
it's roughly 3/4 of a mile, half a mile loop. And
They do that
they'll
3
ride
times.
they'll ride for an hour, and so however many laps they can do in that time frame.
It's incredible.
Gotcha.
So we did briefly, we met with Savannah
Gonzalez, yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I remember her saying something about the Peach Jam. Do y'all bring the Peach Jam here?
So the Sports Council was instrumental in landing the Peach Jam here in Augusta
Wow.
25 years ago. This upcoming year will be the 25th anniversary.
That's incredible.
And in particular,
And
Clint,
you're giving away tickets. No, I'm kidding.
in particular, Clint Bryant, who is now the athletic director at Augusta University. Clint was on our board of directors.
Right,
The
yeah.
Sports Council at the time was instrumental in getting that, landing it, and bringing it to Augusta.
incredible.
And it's, I don't know that the people in Augusta even realize the scope of this event. It is the
It's crazy.
premier high school basketball tournament. All the best players in the country. You go over to Riverview Park and you'll see NBA players and
Oh, yeah.
college coaches from everywhere walking around scouting players.
It's done by Nike.
Yes,
They're the
that's
head
right.
sponsor,
It's
so-
Nike's
Yep.
elite event.
And we're not talking about high school teams. We're talking about AA basketball.
AAU
Yeah,
and
AAU,
elite teams.
yeah.
Yeah. So last year
So
we had
club teams.
The best of the best.
Yeah.
Bronny James, the son of LeBron
Yeah,
James,
yeah.
played, and it's a who's who of basketball. And if you want to see some high level basketball,
For real.
it's unreal at the level they play at these days.
My friend actually was a server, and he served Shaquille O'Neal that
Mhm.
week, and I was very upset that he didn't call me. But yeah, it's professional. I understand. I met Kenyon Martin at a bar at PI, just sitting at the bar watching TV. Look over, he's sitting there making some comments about some basketball game that's on, and it's just so cool that like you can talk about something like the Peach Jam, the people coming in, but like when you actually see it with your eyes and see like these are the most famous basketball players in the whole world, and they're making it a big deal to come to Augusta, not for a day, really for a week. That's crazy.
The interesting thing about Peach Jam is it's not just that one tournament at Riverview Park.
Yeah.
What happens is there are a lot of satellite tournaments pop up because all the players and coaches in the country know that all the top college coaches are going to be here scouting. So they all come to Augusta, and they actually set up a couple of basketball courts inside the Augusta Convention Center.
Oh wow! I didn't even
And
know
gyms
that.
all over
Tickets for that
town.
must be crazy.
Gyms all over town are having these
Which we
satellite
have
tournaments.
now.
Yeah, we now have exclusive tickets. We don't have
I'm
just
just kidding.
No tickets.
I'm just kidding.
But anyway, it fills up rooms as far away as Greensboro, Georgia, and Columbia, South Carolina.
I
Every
believe it.
room in this town is filled up with basketball players.
incredible.
That's how big this tournament is.
Which is, and are we? Did you have anything else to say? Because I could really take that and send it to him.
Send it on over to
Okay.
You just
Bennish.
send it to
We're gonna
Bennish.
send it to Bennish. So with that, hotels filling up everything. That's what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
So could you tell all of us listeners, so we have Sports Council, what they're doing for Augusta now, the CVB, also known as, I guess we could say Augusta and Co. So
Augusta & Co. is a division of the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Awesome.
Augusta & Co. is our version of what used to be considered a visitor center, where you go in and you just pull
Love
some
it.
right cards. But now Augusta & Co. has really set a new bar for
Yeah.
visitor centers
It
So
really
did you
has.
around this
Is
state.
that your concept that you guys kind of pioneered?
It was the concept that originated here. Yes, absolutely.
Love it.
He
Came
won't
from-
take credit for it. Look at this guy.
Well,
he's so humble.
he won't do it. I'm trying to make him do it. He
members
won't
of
do
my
it.
team. So
There
I
you
get
go.
to make sure that
Shout
we
out to the
implement
team.
it. Yep, shout out to the team. But Augusta & Co. concept really originated from a plan called Destination Blueprint. And
Yeah.
Destination Blueprint was a roadmap for Augusta to say, if we really want to continue to see tourism just elevated
Yeah.
at its highest level, here's some suggestions. So consultants talked about and inspired our office to really think about some things that would be high impact, very visible, and could be, important for both residents and visitors. And one of the things they talked about was just think through a different way of welcoming guests and sharing information. So Augusta & Co., which is on the ground floor at 1010 Broad Street,
Nice.
is a place where it's a one-stop shop, but we're not in competition with local businesses because we certainly do try to send visitors and locals out to our local businesses, because that's what tourism is about, really
Right.
supporting local businesses. It's about jobs, sustaining jobs. But Augusta & Co. is just a whole different way of doing it. But I do want to piggyback on what Brian has said. He talked about those major events and sporting events. Sporting events, if you think about the way we look at a person, a warm body on the ground here in Augusta for any reason is a potential repeat visitor or a potential to come back as an individual, or think of all the people who are still involved in 4 or 5 different kinds of organizations. So somebody may be here for the Nike Peach Jam, but they might be professionally involved in 6 or 7 other things. It's how do we get a chance to have the opportunity to recruit our area's conventions and events.
Right.
And I do issue the challenge of what is the next big thing. We have some very good, you talk about being under the radar. Our convention center, quite often, we certainly partner. They have a very capable sales staff over at the Marriott. Mm-hmm. The convention center is a great asset for us to fill with events. Not that we don't have other very unique venues around Augusta that we can recruit events to, but if you're talking about something that can have a big impact at one time, have an event there that fills multiple hotels.
Your larger size stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we try to focus on. But again, keeping in mind that someone may come today as someone attending the convention, but we certainly hope they're inspired to come back as an individual traveler with their family,
right.
or vice versa. But our challenge is to always think of what can be the next big thing. And TechNet, people hear of TechNet. It's a part of just our growth, the whole cyber culture that now is really being created here. TechNet is a huge sellout event for this region. As Brian talked about Peach Jam really has its tentacles spread throughout this region. TechNet,
so tell us about TechNet real quick. I don't want to, but real quick.
I know just enough to be dangerous, but TechNet is, I think it's very much a consortium that includes the U.S. government, includes the military, but also private industry that provides that technical and cyber support for the industry. It puts them all under one roof to do business-to-business interactions for a course of several days. And it continues to grow, and it is housed here in Augusta.
That's incredible.
It's incredible.
When did it start?
I don't remember exactly when it started. It has matured here, so it's been here for a while.
So it's more of a long-standing...
Yes, yes.
Gotcha.
And I think it's been here long enough now that there may be some other things that even grow out of TechNet. So
I like the way you speak. I
yeah.
like that.
Well,
that's
thank you.
That's
yeah.
It seems like you guys both have a lot of optimism moving forward.
I think
that's
so.
awesome.
There's so much opportunity here in Augusta right now. I've been here my entire life, and I don't remember in my lifetime a more exciting time.
Yeah.
A time for Augustans to be proud of what we have and what we're building here. I mean, you come downtown on a Tuesday evening, you can't find a parking spot.
Down on Monday, you can
That's right.
record a podcast.
So, I mean, it truly is an exciting time, and it's incumbent upon Bennish and I to figure out how we can leverage this excitement into getting visitors from outside of Augusta to come in, see how awesome it is here.
Yeah. Well, I will say I had an opportunity to have Bennish. We had him at a YPA event at
Shout out the YPA.
Yes, Young Professional of Augusta at the Partridge Inn up there. And you spoke to us, and I thought, you know what? This was pre-podcast, and I was thinking, I'm going to talk to this guy. I'm just going to talk about the passion I have for Augusta. And the first thing he said, I mean, it could have been either call my associate and they'll hook you up with my calendar and whatnot. He just said, you know what? Let's go get a cocktail at a place downtown and let's just talk. And that's the kind of person you are, and that's the kind of person Augusta needed for the position you're in. It's truly a community, and you are a cherry on top for that to make it to where it needs to be.
Well, I live here now. Augusta is my home.
I love it.
It's my city.
I love it. And we can tell. We can definitely tell. Are we gonna do a little commercial?
I
We
think
have
we
one more
are.
person that we need to talk about.
I want to
Unless
ask
you
them
need to.
each a question real quick.
Okay, go for it.
So you guys both have all these crazy things you're involved in because the events that come into Augusta, I think, is a lot bigger than a lot of people think. I kind of want to know, to each of you, what's your favorite thing that happens in Augusta? It can be anything, and I think we already know yours.
No, you probably don't.
Okay,
I'm gonna
glad.
surprise you.
Surprise us.
I think my favorite event in Augusta is probably Arts in the Heart.
Ooh.
It is.
That was mine.
It was so awesome.
That's
I love ethnic foods
Yeah.
and culture, and you can just go down there and soak it up.
Yeah.
And I usually do soak up
It's
lots and
right
lots of
outside your
food.
office.
Yeah,
It's
just
right
watch.
outside your office.
It's a neat event. Augusta is so fortunate to have an event of that caliber in our city, and it brings people from all over the southeast, 30 to 50,000 people over the
incredible.
3-day weekend.
That's incredible. I do love Arts and Hearts.
So that's our local. Our
Okay.
local loves Arts in the Heart. I'm
Yeah.
part of that. I love Arts in the
Hampton
Heart.
/ Tacoma, now Augusta.
Gamecock.
I'm not copping out on this by just not narrowing down to one event. What I love is when my calendar gets so packed, there's everywhere I want, whether it's Westaboo, whether it's Arts in the Heart, whether it's the airport announcing a new, direct flight somewhere. My favorite event in Augusta is whatever's happening right now.
Love
That's
it.
my next favorite event, and there's a lot of them.
Not a cop out, I promise.
Good,
Love it.
good.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for humoring me on that. I had to know from two pretty big pillars, I think, in the community.
Yes.
But we do need to take a quick break.
Yep.
We're running over right now, and really, we just need to take this break to thank. Who is it? Will,
Also known as Whiskey.
WeCo Studios.
Yes, WeCo Studios.
He's in the house tonight. A little bit of behind the boards for you guys at home. I had a little mishap where I cannot find one of our microphones. Will, Whiskey, WeCo, you give him as many names as you want. He came in the clutch. He set us up with another microphone. We're recording right now. He's staying here late. He's going to shoot pictures of us. We really just appreciate him being here.
Those of you that follow and listen to us, we are usually in WeCo Studios.
True.
Recording tonight. We are at the Augusta & Co. third floor.
Because who could turn it down?
But Whiskey is still here with us, and he is helping us out tremendously. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Check him out, WeCo Studios.
If you guys need videos, if you need audio, if you need graphic design, if you need pictures, if you need recording studio, I'm running out of hands, but if you need a lot of things and it sounds like one of those things, check him out. He's on Instagram, he's on Facebook. His website is up at WeCoStudios.com.
Nice. Good guess.
What's a good guess?
I guess.
Media. Just media. This guy right here.
The digital media man himself.
Um, So we're back, and
We're back.
we always like to end the episode with a question that we ask all of our guests. And our name is Drop Disgusta. I'm sure you know the name Disgusta. You've heard it your whole life, and I'm
Bennish
sure
has never heard it. It's like the Michigan-Ohio State game where you don't say M, if you're Ohio State. He just doesn't hear the word.
actually, how long did it take you to hear the word Disgusta coming in to Augusta?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how long, but I began
You're
to hear
familiar
it.
with
I'm
the
familiar with it.
term.
Yes. I am.
So we're here with the notion of drop the disc,
Yeah.
hashtag drop the disc, and we're trying to delete that name. So what does dropping the disc mean to you? Dropping the disc from disgust, taking it out completely. What does that mean to you?
Personally.
And David, who should we ask first?
Yeah,
I think the local really has. It's more in the heart.
I think we'll let.
And
yeah.
you claim Augusta now, and I
Yeah.
love that.
Oh,
But
he's an Augustan.
I know that Brian definitely has an answer
Yeah.
off the
I
cuff.
want
Fair
to hear
enough.
Brian
Well,
because he's got
Having-
pent-up rage. Probably.
Yes, I should see him right
Let's
now.
see it come-
He's
he's
unbuttoning the
seeing
top. He's unbuttoning the top button.
He's
ready.
2 buttons in, guys.
having grown up in Augusta, I'm very familiar with Disgusta, and at one time in my life when I was younger, I used Disgusta.
Yeah.
That was then.
Right.
Things are different now. It's an entirely different city. It's got a new vibe, new energy, and I think as people come here and experience our city and what we have going for it, you'll hear it less and less. As a matter of fact, I already hear it less and less.
Yeah.
I really don't hear it much unless I'm hearing the name of your podcast.
Well, that's
Which-
good because soon we'll hopefully rebrand. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's right,
That's
good.
the plan.
My goal is to rebrand within 2020 when we don't hear the word at all from anybody.
Yeah.
Phil Wall, who is the board chairman of Bennish's Convention and Visitors Bureau board, I think I heard it from him. We were talking about it during the Masters, and he was saying that we need to, drop disgust and use Augusta. And I like that when I heard it. The way Phil
That's
said
gonna
it.
be the next
That's
name.
you'll have to get that approved by Phil Wall, but I'm sure he will take care of you.
That's great.
Well, it sounds like he was dropping the diss a while ago. We appreciate Phil Wall. We appreciate you.
Yes. So, Bennish.
Yeah, I certainly get why you've named your podcast that. And going back to what Brian said, I don't think there's a community in this country where at some point in time people who live there had some negative view of it, that it might be the worst place, they can be. But for me, my excitement to Augusta, it's a place that has just all the cool things. I don't want to use just, words to describe, but it's got the soul, it's got the grit, it has the edge, it has the tradition, it has the formality, it has the Southern history, it has the future focus. So how do we capture that in really capturing the brand of Augusta, and at the edge of it all, Augusta is just a funky soul, wonderful place that appreciates, I think, diversity, and we just have to embrace that and love where we live.
Yeah. What is it? Keep downtown funky.
Yeah,
Keep downtown.
yeah, and I think we got to. When you think about what separates us from other communities, either our size or larger, we certainly have the name recognition, but there is still that edge here that we all just need to continue pushing and promoting it. And hashtag Love Augusta is out there and it's strong.
We really wanted that name, but we can't take it from Sean Frank.
Yeah. We'll build it. We can't take it, but we can build on it, and that's what we've done
We can build on
to
it.
support it. Yeah.
Love it. So we want to thank y'all seriously for
Thank you guys.
being here, making the adjustment to our schedule with us, but
It's
we don't
7 p.m. and you guys are sitting in the office right now and you're smiling,
Yes.
which even if you don't mean it, means a lot to both of us.
We don't want to take any more of y'all's time, but we want to thank y'all for being here with us.
Well, thank you. I've never met either one of you before tonight, but I can just tell being in the room with you, your passion for Augusta is strong, and we greatly appreciate
I
that.
hope it's overwhelming you. That's what we try to do.
It is awesome. You guys inspire me, and you're doers. You love this community. I see you everywhere. I mean,
That's
I know
gonna
you're
be our new
everywhere.
intro.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good sound.
But thank you for inviting us. I hope this won't be the last time.
No, it will definitely
I hope
not.
that too.
And we don't have to come as a pair, but
Yeah.
You guys
we
as you
could
can
all
tell, I
just
like
get
Brian.
together and grab a cocktail
Yeah.
at Metro or somewhere,
Record
craft a
it.
vine, just hang
Yeah.
out. Always down,
you got it.
But,
Thank you so much.
We like to give you guys a chance if you want to give any shout outs to anyone in the community.
I'd like to give a shout out to Savannah River Brewing Company and the Dynamite Brown Ale coffee that we're drinking here tonight. That's really good stuff, and the fact that it's made right here in Augusta, Georgia. Not only that, it's made with coffee beans from a local source,
Yes,
Bona
sir.
Cafe.
Bona
yes.
Cafe. It doesn't get any better than that.
That's awesome.
Ditto.
All right,
That's
guys.
great.
Well, I think we're going to close this show out.
Yep. I just want to let all of our listeners know we are always wanting to shed light on the great city of Augusta, Georgia. If you are someone out there that is doing just that, we would love to meet you.
Yep.
We would love to meet you or hang out. You can always reach us at dropdisgust@gmail.com.
You can slide into our DMs on Instagram.
Yes, or you can check out our website,
Yep.
www.dropdisgusted.com.
Incredible.
Yep,
Wow.
easy.
Fantastic.
So check us out, reach out to us. We'd love to get to know you.
If you like this podcast, leave it a review in the App Store, please, because that will help us to be found by other people that also like podcasts
And love Augusta.
and love Augusta.
Yeah.
And also tell your friends about the podcast.
Yeah, we love that. Thank you all for listening.